What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. My squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigo.
Let's do this. Well, listen, y'all. It's the dynamic duel this week. T-Mac is on assignment doing some other things, but me and Chill are going to hold it down. Let me start off with this scripture. Zechariah 4:10 in the New Living Translation says this: "Do not despise small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." And I'll just do that, read the A part. But here's what I said, that because the Summer League just ended for the NBA. And we saw how Victor Wembanyama, his first game was real iffy and real shaky. But by that second game, he looked like who people said he was. He looked like the number one player of the league, of the draft. But what it also means is that he's also, they shut him down too for that league to say that's it. You to show we see what we got. The league saw what we got. Let's shut you down, and we don't want you playing anymore. You know, and so we're really looking at who he is and what he's done. I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm impressed or not. When you 7'5" and you beating up on 6'10s, that don't show a whole lot to me. I think the other things I saw was Chet Holmgren. You know, he was what, the number 2 pick last year for Oklahoma City, and he was injured, so he didn't play. But he looked good in the summer league that he played in. The games I saw him, he looked just as impressive, if not more impressive, than Victor Wembanyama. And so the other ones I thought that was Scoop, but he got injured, so he stopped. And then also one of the twins, the Thompson twins, Asar, got injured, so he didn't even get a chance to play against his brother. Or Amon got injured. Amon got injured, but Amon got injured, but he didn't get a chance to play his brother Asar. What do you think? Who do you think were the winners and the losers, or the surprises and the disappointments in the summer league?
Well, I was very impressed with the Thompson twin that played for Detroit. Man, he is very, very, very impressive. He looked like he's ready for the NBA right now. Wembanyama, I know it's going to be an adjustment period for him. To me, I thought that Holmgren looked the best to me. Holmgren only like 2 inches shorter than him, you know, but I think he's much more skilled, much more crisp. He's a really, I think Oklahoma City is going to be somebody to be dealt with this year. With Holmgren in the lineup, because they only missed the playoffs by a half a game last year. Scoop did great. He looked very, very good. A couple of other people in Summer League look nice, but I really don't put a lot of stock in Summer League because really about 85% of those players aren't going to be in the NBA anyway. So it's only very few of them that's going to play in the NBA, and most of them are going to play in the G League. So I don't put a whole lot of stock in that. So you can really do well in the Summer League. That doesn't translate to me into the NBA.
For me, Summer League basketball looks terrible. Maybe it's just me, because, you know, everybody's trying to get a look. So they're forcing it more than allowing it to come to them. And a lot of them are forcing up just bad shots. They're forcing bad moves, trying to be seen. And I get it. This is your opportunity to possibly get you a contract, but a lot of it just looks bad. You know,
And
so,
you playing with other bad players.
right. So let's keep it moving. I think Joel Embiid of the 76ers is done with the process. James 1:3-4 says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have her perfect work, that you may be whole and complete and entire, wanting no thing. And I think Embiid is getting to the end of his patience with this whole process thing. He was interviewed in an interview, and he said this: I just want to win a championship, whatever that may be. I do whatever it takes. I don't know where that's going to be, whether it's in Philly or anywhere else. I just want to have a chance to accomplish that. I want to see what it feels like to win that first one, and then we can think about the next one. It's not easy, but it takes more than one or two or three guys. You got to have good people around you. And myself, every single day, I work hard to be at that level so I can make it happen. So every single day, I'm working towards that. Sounds to me like he's about to ask for a trade. He's about to ask to get out of Philly. And I don't know if that's coaching or if that's management, but they're not putting the right pieces around him to win a championship. And so I don't, I think he said a huge message without saying a whole lot. What do you think, Will?
Well, I think they've gotten rid of Doc Rivers, so they got a new coach in there. So obviously they're going to have a new system. We got to see how this system works. We don't know what's going to happen with the bearded one so far, but Philadelphia has a very good team. They're not an old team. They're not a young team. They seasoned. They've been together a while. They got a lot of playoff experience. They might be a system change away from being in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're as good as any other team in the league to me. Philly can beat any team. I don't know if it was Doc Rivers' system. I don't know if people's roles wasn't designated properly and wasn't divvied out properly. But I think it's some other things they need to be doing systematically to have them become more successful. And maybe Nick Nurse will bring that in and usher that in. I want to wait to see how they look early in the season under Nick Nurse before I totally say the process is over.
Let me ask this question. Do you think they should trade or keep the bearded one?
They got to keep the bearded one.
Even though he's requested a trade.
They got to keep him because they're not going to get enough back. If they get rid of James Harden, then they instantly are not contenders anymore. So now the process is over. So it ain't like you can trade James Harden and get somebody just as good as James Harden. There's not a lot of people in the league that's as good as him and that's up for trade. So if you get rid of him, you're going to be taking some steps down. You're going to be putting some extra pressure on some other people who may not be able to carry that pressure, including Embiid. He wasn't really good when he had Simmons, and then he got the bearded one, and the team got a lot better. So I don't think they want to take a step back by getting rid of James Harden. I think before they do anything, let's see what happens with Nick Nurse, maybe the first 15, 20 games of the season, a third of the way through the season.
Let me say this. Everybody's talking about you got to have a big three to win the championship, big three. The issue with the big three is if they're just three big offensive players and they don't play defense, you're not going to win a championship. That was proven in Brooklyn. You cannot win a championship without defense. It's proven everywhere KD goes. If you don't have the reason why he won championships in Golden State, because when he was there, because of what was around him, Golden State was ranked in the top 5 in defense every year. And so now you got 3 offensive players that, first of all, want the ball all the time, but don't want to stop anybody from scoring. And you cannot win that way because, okay, y'all can give us 90. You 3 can give us 90. But our team's going to give you 130. You can't win that way because y'all not stopping nobody. And the thing I see with the bearded one is he does not play defense. We've seen him play Matador defense on several occasions. And that seems to be the big issue with him. Where nobody's questioning your ability to score. Everybody's questioning your ability to stop somebody. And that's where you go, okay, do I want somebody who all they're going to do is score, but they're going to be a huge defensive liability? Or do I want to find somebody and trade them that may not be as good of a scorer, but is a much better defender that can help balance out James Harden 30, but can stop whoever he's holding from getting 20? You know, that's a thought that you have to think about when you're looking at James Harden. What do you do with him? Is he
But
worth?
you can't trade him for anybody. Who can you trade him for? Nobody's giving up anybody very good for James Harden. Because it's not that many people in the league that's as good as James Harden. So give me an example. What trade do you think would be a good trade for James Harden? Straight up trade. Who?
Here's the thing that and I don't know if you heard about it, but I was reading this in Yahoo that they're talking about Chris Middleton for James Harden. I was like, please don't.
That's worse.
That's worse. Now, is it worse for the Bucks or is it worse for Philly?
Both teams instantly fall out of the playoffs. I mean, not the playoffs, but the conference championship caliber team.
My thing with, at least with Chris Middleton, he can fit into another system. I don't think James Harden comes and he changes your system no matter where he goes. You know, so first of all, I was like, don't ever let that ever be said again that we want James Harden for Chris Middleton.
No.
I'm thinking, like you said, who could they trade him for? What would be a good trade for him?
Nobody.
That's difficult. Because what you're getting back for whatever you're giving, because more than likely, I know Philly, if they're getting somebody, they want a two-way player. They don't want another scorer. Because Maxey can pick up half of the scoring from James Harden. Maxey could and Maxey's going to play defense. And I think they want to make Maxey a PG. But I don't know. I can't.
Philly is they stuck in a tight spot. They can't get rid of James Harden because getting rid of James Harden instantly makes them not a championship caliber team. That's just the reality. So they got to keep James Harden.
You know where he wants to go, don't you?
Where?
Clippers.
Clippers, I don't know about the Clippers. They got to do something because they new arena is opening shortly and they better have a good squad on the teams. I mean, a good squad on the floor. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't. I think we got to see what Nick Nurse does.
Would you trade him for Paul George?
No.
Why?
Because I wouldn't, if I was the Clippers, I wouldn't trade James Harden for Paul George. If I was the 76ers, I would.
Right.
I wouldn't.
76ers side.
Yeah, Paul George for James Harden, that's a bad trade for Clippers.
Yeah. I think the only way they would do that is for a salary dump, knowing that we only got Harden for 1 year. Then we get rid of his salary and go get some other players for that $30 million. I think that would be the only reason why the Clippers would do it.
Nah, I wouldn't do that. Because GMs got to keep they got to keep their job too, so they can't be doing crazy stuff.
But I think the other piece is they're looking to go, I don't know if I want to pay Paul George the money he's going to ask for at the end of his contract. Let Philly deal with that.
They don't have to pay him. They can let him go. They don't got to pay him.
Well, we'll see. You know, so that's a huge dilemma, figuring out what that's going to be. You know, and to me, I think the reason why nobody's biting at him because he's not a coveted free agent. He's not nobody's saying, hey, so and so's in talks with Philly for James Harden. Nobody is saying that.
But the other thing too is his off the court reputation is not good. He's known for being a partier. He all around the world hanging out with all the celebrities, and they're always in Las Vegas, and so his reputation as a team player as being focused is not good. So of course, it's a lot of locker rooms that he wouldn't fit well in.
Yeah, I agree. You know.
Well, what about the other guy that's talking about he wants to be traded from Portland, Dame Dollar? What about him? What do you think about that?
We was getting ready to talk about him. You know, Proverbs 18:24 says, "A man who has friends must be friendly himself, but there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother." In the negotiations of all of this, and to me, that's just me, I feel like Dame has been more friendlier than Portland than any other superstar would be for a franchise that hasn't done what they needed to do to put better people around a superstar to win a championship. I think they've done a disservice to Dame. And for him to finally say, I'm at a place in my career that I still got enough that if I go to a team, I could win something and help lead that team to a championship versus being a bandwagon rider to get me one. And for Portland to have all these stipulations, I'm gonna quote this. For teams calling about trading for Damian Lillard, the message from the Portland Trailblazers has been unambiguous. Bring your best offer and make your team our preferred trade destination. General Manager Joe Crowan doesn't plan to operate or transfer a transfer portal to the Miami Heat and doubtfully deliver the history's greatest Blazer to the targeted team. So what they're saying is pretty much, I don't care what Dame wants. I know he's been loyal to us, but we're not about to be loyal to him. Whoever we can get the best for, that's where he's going, whether he likes it or not.
And I agree with that 100%.
And for me, I go, okay, well, wait a minute, bro. But what about when I stayed here when I could have left? Knowing that but you told me you were going to put the pieces around me to win, and you didn't do that.
The general manager's obligation is to the success and longevity of the franchise, not to loyalty to a player that was loyal to them. It's business. They got to get the most they can get for Dame Dollar. Number one, they're the Portland Trailblazers, so they're not going to be a destination for free agents. So the only way they can really build is through the draft. That's how they drafted Damian Lillard. So they're not going to be able to say, okay, when free agents come up, they're going to come to Portland. They are not coming to Portland, just like free agents are not coming to Milwaukee. We got lucky that we got the best player in the world, and we drafted him.
Right.
And we were able to put some pieces around him, not superstars, but some nice quality pieces. We went through the league, combed the league, found some really, thirsty guys who were really hungry and wanted to win, and good players, put them around them, and we wound up winning a championship. That's what Portland is going to have to do, because no free agent is going to Portland. So they got to get all the draft picks and anything else they can for Damian Lillard, because Damian Lillard is gone, so we don't have any more loyalty to him.
My question, let's look at it from Damian's side. If you're Damian, how do you feel about this? That I put my career on the line for y'all because you said you were going to put players around me That's why I signed that extra large contract, because you said you're going to put players around me to make sure I at least get a sniff at the championship. And you didn't do that. And so now when I'm saying, okay, it's time for me to go, because y'all didn't keep your word, and I realize I'm not going to win a championship with this team, with you guys, and now you want to treat me like it doesn't matter what we said to you, this is still what we're going to do to you? From Damon's side, I get the anger, I get the bitterness, if there is some there. Where's the loyalty? I was loyal to you. Where's the loyalty to me?
Let this be a lesson learned. This is business. This is how it goes. Dame can't pick the team he want to go to. He ain't the general manager. He ain't the owner. He a player. They don't trade general managers and owners. They trade players. He a player. So you was loyal, and we thank you, and we appreciate it. But guess what? We got to take care of our own franchise, and we got to put butts in seats. So you're the most valuable commodity we have, so we got to get a return on our investment. That's just how it is. You might want to go to the Lakers. You might want to go to Miami or whatever. Okay, that's good, but you can't trade yourself. We got to trade you. That's business. That's how it goes. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth.
I understand. But let me say this. There has been a precedent set for players who say, I want to go to this particular team, and they were traded there. So it's not like he's asking something that hasn't been done in the league several times.
Okay, what was the teams though? The teams wasn't Sacramento. They wasn't Milwaukee. They wasn't Orlando. They wasn't Charlotte. It wasn't those teams. The teams that they went to was teams that can attract free agents. It was Houston, Los Angeles, Brooklyn. Those teams can attract free agents. Portland cannot. They only can win and build through the draft. That's the only way they can ever get to a championship.
And that's the way they've done that's how they've always had success on that team. It's through drafting and some strategic trades, but mainly through.
With Kunis, if you in Milwaukee, if you in Portland, as soon as you're able to become a free agent, you become a free agent. So you can get out of those places.
Unless they have a system that you like. Because
unless they have somebody like Giannis or Dame that has committed to him. Other than that, I got to move around because ain't no chance. It's not a good chance that those teams gonna be winning any championships anytime soon. Like you go to Charlotte, that ain't good. Like the Bulls are not even in the NBA no more.
Right.
They're not even an NBA team anymore. The Bulls aren't. So it's
Pistons either.
The Pistons either, but they got a new coach, a new system. Let's see what happens.
Right. Yeah,
And the Pistons have built through the draft.
Right. And I don't know if Portland's best choice is whoever can give me the most draft picks for him. Maybe that's it versus players. Give me some 2 or 3 number ones, first rounds and 2 or 3 second rounds, and maybe y'all can have him because
that's what it's gonna come down to.
Because there is no player that you can trade for that can do what Damon does. That's out there for Portland.
There's no players. And as good as Cooper Henderson is, as good as he is, he ain't Dame.
Oh no. But let's just be honest. We didn't know he was Dame coming out of college.
No, we didn't, but I had a good idea he was going to be good once I seen him in the summer league.
Right.
I said that kid right there is going to be good.
Right. So I feel for him because I understand what it is he's looking to do. I understand, him wanting to win a championship. I'm sure he's tired of, being home in May and June when he's like,
watching his peers play on TV.
Right. And I'm here in Portland watching him.
Yeah.
I'm not in Miami watching him. I'm not in LA watching him. I'm not in New York watching him. I'm in Portland watching him.
Yeah.
And I'm sure his family is going, You need to do what you need to do to make sure that you end up where you can be happy, because you come home after every season and it takes you a month to get out of this stupor that you in.
He's a player. They don't trade general managers. They don't trade coaches. They don't trade, they trade players.
Right.
They gonna trade him to where they want to trade him, and he don't got no trades clause. So there ain't nothing he can do about it. Once they say this is what we trade and the two teams make a deal, that's where he going.
Yeah, I don't know what's in his contract. That I don't know.
Well, he don't have a no trade clause. Bradley Beal was the only NBA player that had that.
Yeah.
No one else has it.
Yeah. And he's gone.
Yeah, but he could pick what team he wanted to go to because he had a no trade clause. So if they picked the team he didn't like, he can say, I don't like that trade.
Right. And I think Dame
can't do that.
He saw the bag and forgot about the repercussions of the bag.
Well, I feel sorry for Dame, but it's a business.
Yeah, I get it. Well, listen, man. Another great show. Meet us back here next week. Same bad time, same bad channel for the #1 faith-based sports culture in the entire world, Icarus Court. Until next week, have an amazing week. Peace.